Hello, you weirdos, and welcome back to the Weird Science Comics YouTube channel. I'm Jim, and we have breaking news. This might be breaking wind news, but I don't want to joke too much about it because it is kind of a book that gets me angry. Now, this is going to be about the Harley Quinn Fartacular book. The solicits from DC just came out. That was part of the solicits, and I'm sure I won't be the only one who does a video on this book, but I do think that I'll have a little bit of a different angle here. I think that a lot of people will go with what would be the clickbaity, oh my God, this is disgusting and it's fetish and yeah, they want people to fart at people and things like that. I'll tell you right now that there's nobody in this world that appreciates a good fart joke like me. I mean, if you are here right now and you farted, I would think that you are the funniest person ever, especially if it's by command. That would be great. I have a potty sense of humor of like an 8-year-old. I always have. I think it's funny. And if you weren't aware, I actually have a other YouTube channel that does a lot better than this comics one that I end up doing dirty parody songs. And I like that stuff. I think it's funny. So this should be right up my back alley here. But the thing is, even more so, I'm a Harley Quinn fan. And I'm telling you, a lot of people who will end up reporting on this and commenting on this book, I'm pretty sure most of them probably aren't Harley Quinn fans. They're probably just there to kind of get the clicks. I'm here because I'm angry because as a Harley Quinn fan, we need more than just the Harley Quinn Fartacular. She can be so much more, so much better, but hasn't been in decades. And I'm one of the fans who say Harley needs to go away for a little and have people want her back. She's always kind of shoved in your face, but what's usually shoved in your face is this kind of thing. I mean, I sit here and read the solicit that's talking about farting at people and all this. I'm like, you have a PhD. Like, seriously, you are a doctor, and here you are, and this is what they have pretty much gone to. She amounts to just, hey, I'm going to fart at people. And by this point, it feels like if you're a Simpsons fan, it's Bart when he's the I didn't do it kid. You know, this sort of thing happens, and I'm like, there's no laughs coming. And this is one of those books that you just wonder, what was the pitch to this? Did somebody walk in and just fart in a room and say, that's it, and leave, drop the mic? I have heard that the big play is that there are books at, say, Target, Walmart, all those places that are like, Johnny took a poop today. Jimmy pooped on the floor. You know, that book. You know, hey, let's go to the can. I don't know. But it seems like this was pitched as a book to be in competition with those books that are just kind of little books for kids who are learning how to go to the potty. I don't think that's it. Plus, it ends up putting a scratch and sniff thing on it. It's ridiculous. Again, people say it's disgusting. It's just a comic book. It's a comic book. The scratch and sniff is nonsense. They did it before. They ended up having a Harley book that was scratch and sniff. One of the scents was weed. And the idea was, I don't know if it's urban legend, it might be true, but some people got caught at the border. It was more, I think I heard it was the border of like Canada. And you know, that one, they ended up where the drug dog smelled the Harley Quinn comic. But in this, like, why? Why are you making a character that is already looked at as a joke into more of one? And I wish that there would be somebody out there that would write Harley, because even the current book, even the things we've had in the recent past, current book by Elliot Kalin is pretty much unreadable. We've had Teenie Howard on the book, just completely awful. And then you had, say, T. Franklin, which up until now was the worst, I thought. The Eat, Bang, Kill book. I think this Fartacular might take it over. But the solicits, as I said, just recently came out. So I'm going to read the solicit. Now, I'll warn you, I'll probably get angry. These solicits for Harley, they like to play it that Harley's telling you the solicit like we're playing games here. I'm an adult. I don't need to play these games like I really think, oh my God, Harley wrote this solicit? Oh my God, that's so wacky. It drives me nuts every time I read them. When I end up recording a solicits podcast for DC, it always ends up like coming to a screeching halt when I get to Harley because I always forget. It creeps up on me and then I get angry. But this is the Harley Quinn Fartacular. Silent but B-U-T-T, get it? Deadly, number one. It's Joanne Starr, And if you don't know Joanne Starr, all the better for you. But she ended up writing Fire and Ice, Welcome to Smallville. We'll get to that in a second. And art from Ted Brandt and Ro Stein. Here we go. I usually put a Harley voice on here. I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it. I've been holding in all my worst bits. See, I already have a sore throat from it. I've been holding in all my worst bits of bubble guts for the last 32 years. And it's all been leading up to this epic expulsion. Just get every sentence. I'm going to stop and remind you. PhD. Your nose will never be the same. PhD. You'll gag. You'll cry. You'll feel things you ain't never felt before. This fine publication is a celebration of all things past, present, and future. PhD. Sequential art's place in the annals of history. Now, really, if you're not going to put annals, and maybe I could read it like that, of history is about to change. With the release of Harley Quinn Fartacular, silent but deadly, a comic that promises to have the highest concentration of gas per page, GPP, ever committed to print. This is like and you ended up just having the Superman trailer come out, right? Everybody had their different opinion, but I did see people like, oh man, that didn't look like that was any good. And it's just like a little thing. And this is what is a comics trailer. And it's trying to upset me in a way that I want to throw my computer out the window. That's how it's like so bad. GPP, gas per page. I hope to God that this issue is a little bit funnier than this. Emphasis on committed, because everyone who worked on this comic is getting thrown into Dr. Fartley's home for no good gassy gals. All right. Yeah, PhD. That again, when I end up reading something like this, I'm embarrassed that I even read comics. I'm embarrassed to be here at this desk reading this to everybody right now. That's how bad it is. And again, people are going to say it's disgusting. It is just a comic book. But it is disgusting if you're a Harley Quinn fan because it makes her just a joke again. These are the things that people point to and say, hey, Harley sucks. Hey, this Harley sucks because this Harley sucks. It isn't one of those plays that she is now a one-dimensional character. Hey, look at me, goofy. Instead of, giving us real stories with some heart and showing exactly what makes Harley a really good character. But this is something DC does a lot. They end up with Damian Wayne recently with Joshua Williamson and now Philip Kennedy Johnson. At least it's getting more and it's getting better. But for a while there, Damian shows up. Damian's a jerk. There you go. That's it. Guy Gardner. So again, speaking of the trailer, the idea of, Guy Gardner's just an asshole. Guy Gardner's an asshole. No, when you write these characters and give them more than that one dimension, you see what actually makes them great. Nobody thinks that Harley Quinn's a great character because she farts. No, that's not the deal. So you have Joanne Starr on the book, the writer of Fire and Ice, Welcome to Smallville. Again, I've seen a lot of videos of that book when that was coming out, and a lot of the people who were giving the video, I don't think they read the book. They heard this or they saw one screenshot. Believe me, I read every word of that book. I reviewed every single issue, and I think that I need hazard pay right now because it was bad. And it was so bad beyond the three things that people saw pictures of and made videos. It was bad at a base level of storytelling, progression, pacing, everything. It got worse and worse. And by the end, it was a total mess of a book. It was a complete and utter mess. This one, I think, just starts out like this because it's not going to try, at least I don't think, that it's going to try to delve into any character work. It's going to end up being gassy this, gassy that, fart at you, do that. But again, who's going to read it? Nobody. Nobody cares. It's just going to be a bomb. It does come out, and this is where you would get DC or even Joanna Starr would say, oh, don't you get it? It comes out April Fool's Day. This is just a joke. The problem is, and that's another thing. I love pranks. I love jokes, right? So April Fool's, the fun thing about it is you end up doing things that don't become reality. You say crazy things like fun stuff, like you go to your buddy and say, hey, your mom died in a car accident. And then he's like, oh my God. And you're like, April Fool's, she didn't die in a car accident. And then he punches you and then you both laugh, right? But this is coming out. This, hey, your mom died in a car accident. Oh my God, April Fools? Oh, no. She died in a car accident. I just wanted to tell you. And then you laugh at them and run away. It's just ridiculous. But yeah, Harley is at a bad place, especially when they think that this is something that people would want to read. Also, I would love to reach out to Joanna Starr and say that at this point, if DC calls and the first thing they say is, we want you to write this Harley book, you know they don't respect you because they don't respect the character anymore either. This is a joke. You're a joke. Just stop. Just stop. And please, somebody out there, give me a Harley book that treats her like a character, not a caricature. That's what she's just a caricature. She could be a character. There's no bad characters, just bad writers. But there are bad writers who make bad characters. But this is whatever. You need somebody to actually take care and know the character. And what happens as my last deal, the next writer goes off of what was last. These writers don't seem to want to do a deep dive beyond the last series, last issue. So unfortunately, there's going to be somebody out there who's going to get to write Harley and might actually use this. Oh, I think I'll get this Fartacular. That sounds like a serious book. Eventually, we'll get a good Harley book. It's been a while. Stephanie Phillips had a little bit better deal, but that got wonky too, because again, when you do a book like Harley, one of the things is you over Harley her. That is a problem. You go too jokey, all that. But if the book doesn't do well, then it tends to push more towards this stuff. And it's just a shame. I'm sure there's not many Harley fans that or at least will admit it out there. But let me know what you think. Is anybody going to buy this? I don't see it. I don't see it happening. And if you are, I guess you got problems. But I won't judge you publicly. I might do it privately. I might laugh at you or shake my head. But there's going to be somebody out there scratching, sniffing this thing, and give yourself a Dutch oven. You're there doing it under the covers. It'd be pretty fun. But I won't be reading it. I won't be reviewing it. And like I said, this is more from a Harley fan who just, they can't treat her well. And she should just go away for a while until somebody does. But that's it. Let me know what you think. And I will talk to you all later.
Weird science is the revolution.